All right, let's just get right into this explainer. For most of us, college is this huge balancing act of real-life pressures, right? And relying on financial aid to actually stay enrolled, that is just a completely normal part of the reality. But here is the big question. Once you finally get that funding, how do you make absolutely sure you keep it?
Well, that brings us to Victor Valley College's Satisfactory Academic Progress Policy, or as we call it, SAP. Think of SAP as the strict federal rulebook. It's exactly what the Office of Financial Aid uses to decide if your aid is going to continue from one semester to the next.
So here is our roadmap for today. 1. Why SAP matters. 2. The federal standards. 3. The 2 different systems you deal with. 4. Appeals and protection. And 5. Your action plan.
Part 1. Why SAP matters.
Look, college is stressful enough without constantly wondering if you're going to lose your funding. The absolute crucial point here is that your financial aid doesn't have to be a mystery. Knowing the SAP rules puts you completely in the driver's seat. When you understand this federal standard, you stay ahead of the game, making sure your financial aid is never unexpectedly on the chopping block.
Part 2. The 3 federal standards.
The first rule is pretty straightforward. You just need to maintain a cumulative grade point average, or GPA, of 2.0 or higher. That's your baseline federal standard to stay in the safe zone.
The second rule is what we call the pace of completion. Basically, you have to successfully complete more than 67% of all the units you attempt. So if you enroll in a class, you've really got to finish it to keep that completion rate safely above that 67% mark.
And the third standard? That's the maximum time frame. This just means you have to finish your educational goal within 150% of your program's published length. To put that into perspective, if your degree takes 60 units to finish, your financial aid will only cover you up to 90 attempted units.
Now here is a critical detail that trips a lot of people up. Every single class counts. Fall, winter, spring, summer, they all count toward your SAP calculation. And honestly, it's not just the classes you took here. All Victor Valley College units and any accepted transfer units count too, even if you never received financial aid for them in the past.
So, based on those 3 standards, you're going to fall into one of 3 SAP status levels. First is satisfactory, which is exactly what it sounds like. You're meeting all the standards and your aid continues. Then there's warning. This means you fell below the standards for the first time. But don't panic, your aid still pays for one term, so use that term to recover. And finally, dismissal. This means you didn't recover during your warning term and your aid stops completely until you either appeal or recover on your own.
Part 3. 2 systems, 2 departments.
Okay, this is the biggest trap students fall into. They confuse their academic standing with their financial aid status. But here is the 2-department truth. Admissions and Records handles your academic standing, while the Office of Financial Aid handles SAP. These are totally separate offices running on parallel tracks. So a decision made in one department definitely does not automatically apply to the other. Passing one doesn't necessarily mean you're passing the other.
Speaking of that academic side, the state's chancellor's office is actually updating academic standing terminology in April 2026 to be a bit more supportive. You're going to see notice, which was formerly probation, pause, which was formerly dismissal, and restart, which was formerly reinstatement. But just remember, this is the state academic track. It runs completely separate from your federal SAP track.
Because of these parallel tracks, we need to have some real talk about a couple of warnings. First up, the academic renewal illusion. Academic renewal can magically remove bad grades from your graduation GPA, sure, but federal law requires those exact same units to still count toward your SAP calculation. Academic renewal fixes your graduation GPA, not your SAP standing. Second, the California College Promise Grant, or CCPG. This waives your enrollment fees, but it follows the state academic notice track, not SAP, meaning you can lose your CCPG fee waiver and still pass SAP, or vice versa.
Part 4. Appeals and protection.
Let's talk about the good news. If you do find yourself facing a SAP dismissal, take a breath. The VVC SAP Appeal Committee knows that life happens, and they give special consideration to students in certain protected groups. If you're a veteran or in CalWORKS, EOPS, or DSPS, you get special consideration on SAP appeals. Also, foster youth and former foster youth up to age 24 are categorically exempt from losing their CCPG fee waiver on that state track we talked about.
So, if you have valid mitigating circumstances and you need to appeal a SAP dismissal, here is exactly what you do.
Step 1, log into self-service and find the Financial Aid tab. Step 2, submit the actual appeal form. Step 3, write a really clear, personal statement that answers the 3 core questions on that form. And Step 4, provide third-party documentation to back up your situation.
But let's do a quick reality check on what to expect. These appeal reviews take time, up to 45 business days to be exact. Because of that timeline, appellants are going to miss the first financial aid disbursement of that term. Also, appeals are only reviewed in the fall and spring. There is absolutely no winter or summer review window, even though, yep, those classes still count toward your SAP calculation.
Part 5, your action plan. All right, let's get you an immediate game plan to protect your funding. First, log into self-service today and check your SAP status. Second, if you're on warning, don't ignore it. Meet with the VVC counselor right away to plan out your recovery for this term. Third, if you're on dismissal and have a valid reason, gather your documentation and submit that appeal. And fourth, stay in close contact with the Office of Financial Aid while they review it.
Knowing the rules is honestly half the battle, and now you know exactly how to keep your funding secure. If you need help, the Office of Financial Aid at the One Stop Center is literally there to support you, and you can find all the details online. So the question is, are you going to let a paperwork technicality derail your degree, or are you ready to take full control of your educational future today?